regulatory issues still? Because, and this is something you'd be familiar with from World Reader. I mean, I remember there was a point at which, you had to work out that sort of common good of the taxis versus Lyft versus Uber. Do you still deal with that as you're expanding in other parts of the world, or do you feel like that's pretty much resolved?
I think that's going to be an ongoing thing, for a long time. It's not a major issue in most of the markets we work in, most of the markets, and this is, of course, predates me by a lot.
Yeah.
John and Logan and even the leadership at Uber have done maybe it was a little complicated job in the early days, but I think more recently, a very sort of, kind of responsible way of working with cities and making sure cities understand that we're good partners and so forth. So I don't think that's as big of an issue. I think if you're looking at macro trends, I think on the positive side, there are so many people now, and again, COVID is still a little bit on our minds, who've sort of lost a little of the muscle of coming to work, for example. CEOs are quite concerned about this. Or even if going out, when I was a driver, as I said a couple of weekends ago, I think half of the people I drove said something like, this is one of my first nights out, kind of post-COVID. Now, San Francisco's been a little slow to come back and so forth. So there are different things going on there. But I think as that happened, as people are reminded, of how fun it is to get together and how much more fun it is, for example, to go to a movie than only to watch, Netflix at home. I think there's actually a lot of kind of wind at our back that we're going to start to feel.
I heard you made $26 an hour, so good for you. Is that pretty much the average pay now for a Lyft driver?
It depends market to market, and even time of day. What I thought was so interesting, and I really appreciated it, is as soon as I opened up the driver's app, it gave me an estimate of how much they thought I would make per hour in San Francisco driving on a Saturday night. The estimate was $25. I did a little bit better, which I thought was great, right? It gives you some real visibility into, and again, this gets back to people liking control over their lives.
So I want to ask a little bit about the co-founders who are now going on the board. That's both an asset. It can be a challenge when you've got the people who've built the company, spent more than a decade building it. What advice do you have to them, or have they given you to make you successful in this role with them right there to watch you every step of the way?
It's so interesting. This is an area where I actually think Logan and John they are doing best in class work here. And I mean that, so sincerely. They have been so clear with me that their entire purpose at this point, which is a word I use a lot, purpose, is to make sure that Lyft is in as good a state as it possibly can be, given, where their skills are and so forth and so on, and hand it over to me. And I've seen this day after day. It's only my second official day on the job, but I've been here in the office off and on, kind of around the edges for, coming up on a month now. And the degree to which they have been willing to say, David, this is your decision. David, this is, and it's hard. It's hard. I mean, it's their baby, so, but anyway, they've done a great job with that. And it's, and I think that their new role on the board, they're both really looking forward to. There's this old saying in board world where it's noses in, hands off. So you want to pay attention. You want to know what's going on, maybe give advice, but your job is not to run the company. And their commitment to that is exemplary. And I've seen it, day after day.